if you go into anything and you're like, how can I make money fast? Like, it's just not going to happen. I founded it almost 8 years ago online first. But the physical store, which we opened in June of 21, is sort of like a culmination of my years online, of the community. If you go into something and you truly know, I have something that I want to show to the world, I have something that I think people will resonate with, I have something that, that I'm passionate about, there has to be somebody else out there that's also passionate about that. Those people will find you. And whether it is through social media or through just word of mouth or things like that, the word will get out if you really have great intentions and if what you're making is needed, and that's what I credit the success and just the reach of this business to, for sure. And I've had a lot of I don't even know if I want to bring this up.
Bring it out.
I've had a lot of issues with.
All right, I'm excited for this episode. There's a lot of questions I have prepared for you.
Great.
But if you can, so I don't make the Greeks of New York City upset, please introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, Victor. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Marianthi Vlachos, and I'm an entrepreneur and founder of Hellenic Aesthetic. We're here in my store, and I'm excited to be doing this.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. Thank you for hosting me and my crew is just me. Thank you for allowing me 30 minutes to set up and moving your store around and doing a bunch of things.
We got it done.
Yeah, we got it done. Thank you for the coffee. We'll put a plug in there for the coffee as well. So, right,
Sure.
a lot of our connection came from my 9-to-5 job. I came in here. You run is this a boutique shop, fashion shop?
It's a boutique.
I don't know the difference.
Totally. I think I like to use the very now overused phrase, lifestyle store, because yes, we sell clothing, we sell jewelry and accessories, but we also sell pantry items and other sort of lifestyle items that are all circling around the Greek and Mediterranean lifestyle.
Okay. But if you can, in a quick spiel, what is this store? It's here in Astoria, Queens, but what is it?
Totally. So this is Hellenic Aesthetic is America's first Greek fashion retailer. So I founded it almost 8 years ago online first. But the physical store, which we opened in June of 21, is sort of like a culmination of my years online, of the community, because we have art featured from different artists from the community. We have community events here. It's a place that people can come in, see the best and some of my favorite Greek designers and things that are being made in a country that means a lot to me and so many people in this neighborhood, and just kind of celebrate what Greek design is. And the store itself physically is also a model for Greek design. It literally looks like a Cycladic cave, something you'd see maybe in Santorini or one of those islands. And we designed it with a Greek architecture firm because we really just wanted to bring in the community and transport them to somewhere far away that we all just really love. So
no, I think the shop is super unique. How long have you been open here in Astoria?
3.5 years.
3.5 years.
Yeah.
So you're a post-COVID baby business.
We are for the physical store. Yeah.
Physical store.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to get into. So I mean, I'm someone who knows nothing about fashion.
Okay.
Thank God my wife is the fashion person, and so she lays out the thing that I have to wear.
You look great. You did great. Yes. Yeah.
So every time I get a compliment, I'm not even kidding. It's 100%.
Yeah.
And every time I get a compliment, wow, that looks great.
Yeah.
It's like my wife picked it out. Anytime I get the what are you doing look,
Sure.
no one says it to me. They're like, what are you doing? That was me. That was her.
Okay. Yeah. So it can't be left to your own devices.
Yeah. And so, thank God for my wife and that.
We got her in here.
Yeah. I told her she's super excited to come check this place out. She was she saw the pictures, the video.
Yeah.
And so she's the person that is your target audience for sure.
Great.
But that being said, I came in here and your store, it's very different. It literally looks like we're in Greece, and I've never been to Greece, but it's you can imagine it. It's the curve, everything is white and clean.
Mm-hmm.
It's there's a attention to detail here.
Yes.
And knowing you just for a little bit amount of time, I can confess to you, driving here on 31st Street, I thought this was a psychic.
Oh,
because I saw the eye.
Yeah.
So explain to me what that I is, because I know it's very big with like Greek and maybe Sicilian, like Italian, Southern Italians, right?
Totally. I think it's like a pan-Mediterranean thing because you also
Mm.
see it in other regions like Turkey and the Middle East, and things like that, places like that. So the logo was also designed in Greece by a Greek graphic design firm. So the name of my brand, Hellenic Aesthetic, is if I sort of like dissect that, I feel like it would kind of help make it all make sense. So the word Hellenic is essentially the anglicized version of the Greek word for Greek. So like Eleniki is the Greek word for like something that's Greek. So Hellenic is like that. If you were Greek in college, it was like Greek life. It'd be like Pan Hellenic. That's what all the organizations were called. So if you were like in a fraternity or sorority, like that might be familiar to you.
Oh,
So
it always scared me because like, oh, the word hell's in it. Like,
I don't know, but it literally is just like the way that our tongue speaks.
like these people, why do they have hell or
No,
what?
it has nothing to do with hell. But you know, like if you know Greeks, you know that we're like also very superstitious, also very tend to be very Christian. So no, and Hellenic is a Greek word for Greece, and then aesthetic is obviously a word that is also a Greek word in its origins, and it talks about visual beauty, right? A lot of people associate that with like maybe like cosmetic surgery or like aesthetics in that way. But for us, it can be anything that's just visually beautiful. So that can be art, that can be design, that can be anything that draws the eye. And I just like that the two words sort of rhymed. And it just sort of came to me one day randomly. I hired the graphic designer, and because it's about visual beauty and because the evil eye is such a big part of our culture, I just thought, hey, the let's see how we can incorporate
I
the
think it's
evil eye with the words. So yeah, it can be a little like confusing. And what's funny too with the brick and mortar is people will just stare in here. As sometimes they won't even come in, but they just stare and they stare because they're probably like, what's going on in there? Because it is sort of like otherworldly. When we were constructing it before the drywall went up, because this is actually like steel beams and drywall and like
oh,
all this like wood and things underneath. It has like a skeleton. The postal worker came in, and he was like, "It looks like an airplane in here," because it sort of does look
earth, yeah.
exactly like you sort of felt like you were walking through an airplane before it had any of the clothing and like the fixtures and things in it. So yeah, it's definitely a unique space, and we're really proud of it. It was something that I knew if I was going to open a store, like it had to feel special
Yeah.
and like had to be transportive and like be a further just like to take the brand and like the vibe that I was trying to bring to my customers online and just like take that step forward.
So when we last spoke about this, you had an online business first,
Yes.
and then it kind of grew into this brick and mortar. Now, generally, people will call you insane because they're like, you do an online business to avoid all of the headaches that a brick and mortar has,
Yeah.
while you still make money.
Totally.
So I'm very interested on how you built this audience online first, and then what made you want to do a brick and mortar and like do the hardest version of business possible.
Totally. So starting off with how I began the e-commerce shop and getting a follower group through that, I guess. Honestly, a lot of the times I made the website, started launched the Instagram, all of that. And in order to create a following, I legitimately just started searching on Instagram like people with Greek names, like women with Greek names, like Eleni, not Maria, that's like way too broad, but like Eleni, oh my God, I can't even, I'm like totally blanking out, but any of those like
Like the most common ones.
common Greek names. And I would just search them. And if they had that name, I would just add them on Instagram. And a lot of
From the
times
store page.
from the store page, and they would most of the time follow back. If they didn't, I would unfollow them eventually. But whatever. And I just sort of gained this like traction of all these Greek fans, Greek followers, because I was like, oh, if they have a Greek name, a Greek last name, there's likely that they're ethnically Greek, and what I'm doing they'll care about it more than just some random person, probably. So at least I can like get a base of like very true fans of people that like understand the brands, maybe they're familiar with them, they understand the lifestyle, the vibe. And so if I can get a great audience based off of like people that I have that in common with, then maybe it'll grow from there.
Mm.
And so that's how it started. Weirdly enough.
I mean, that's a very bold strategy, but
Like guerrilla marketing, but like in the creepiest way, I think. Yeah.
but I think that works because, and this is what I think you're secretly a specialist in. Yeah, I don't think you know yet. But if you survive 8 years in business, you're good at something.
Sure.
I think is finding an audience
Yeah.
or creating or tapping into an audience.
Totally.
How do you, for example, I'm starting this podcast. How do I find my audience? I know it's entrepreneurs. I know it's people who like business.
Totally.
But the name of the podcast is The Purpose Podcast. So it's a lot of like what drives you to do the thing, other than, a lot of people think like, oh, I want to start a business to make money and be in control of my time.
No. Don't do that.
And if you have any experience in business, the two things you will not have is money and time.
Yeah.
That comes way later.
Right.
If you're lucky, if it works,
Totally.
it comes later.
Totally.
And so I'm very interested in like, there has to be like a fuel, there has to be like a special purpose why someone would go through all of those hurdles,
Yes.
long hours, no cash flow coming in, the unlimited headaches, the random things that happen. There has to be like a bigger purpose. And I think one thing that I appreciate of the Greek culture, even more here in Astoria and Queens, which is like kind of like the heart of Greek culture, at least to me. I know Bayside has a big crowd too, but Queens in general, in New York City, I think represents Greek culture pretty well. Greek people love Greek things.
Yes.
So I know you have like a bit of like a, easy pass when in terms of that audience. It's like Greek, I'm going to follow it. I'm going to support it no matter what. That's what I love about Greek people. It's like, if it's Greek, I'm going to support it. I don't even know what it is.
Right.
I never been to the store, but I'm sharing the post. Like I love that about Greek people and the food too.
Totally.
But how do you start this audience from zero? Like,
Yeah.
I know we spoke briefly, like the 1,000 true fans kind of concept,
Totally.
but tell me more about that in terms of how do I find this audience? How do I tap into it? And how do I create this audience?
Yes. So the way that I did it was finding people on Instagram. That's just like one example, right? But I essentially realized that because I was traveling to Greece every summer and I was seeing all these really cool brands that were emerging. And I was like, there are all these beautiful brands. They're making things in Greece. The economy was terrible at the time there. And I was like,
What was this?
This was back in, I started traveling back in Greece a lot in 2014.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but I launched the website in 2017. And I just wanted to support them. And I also was sort of like trying to like fill a need. So I think if you're filling a need, right, like that helps because no matter what, it doesn't matter like how long you scream out to the void. Like if what you're trying to like put out there, no one needs, like it's just never going to penetrate. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be like screaming out into the void and there's nothing, it's never going to, reverberate back. And so for me, the need that I was trying to fill was there's all these Greek brands in Greece. Logistics were very difficult, especially at that time with like shipping things from Greece and like having a lot of them didn't have like online shops and things like that. It was very expensive to build a website.
If you're in the United States, you're saying the
Yeah.
idea was if you're in the United States, you can't get any Greek goods.
You could not get Greek fashion products. There was not like one cultivator of Greek brands in the US. That was like an e-shop, that was like a lifestyle brand and things like that. And so that was what I set out to do. I just was filling a need. And so because I was filling that need, word spread because maybe it was creepily adding random girls named Milady on Instagram, or maybe it was because I was doing pop-ups around the country, or maybe it was because like I was, just shaking hands with people that I had thought were like-minded and things like that. I think it's great to put yourself in rooms with people that are similar to you, that are also entrepreneurs, that are also people who are highly motivated or who are like looking to do something, who are looking to be inspired and looking to network and looking to grow. Because at the end of the day, like all boats rise with the tide. I like so believe that so much. So creating a community, even like personally, is such a big thing. And it's just
your offline community.
Your offline community. And I think that's really what's happened more since I've opened the physical stores. Like now that people can come here and like now that I've met more people just like organically through this business, you end up just becoming friends with people. And then they're like, oh, I should introduce you to my friend Mick. He's got Victor. He's got this awesome podcast. Like it just sort of like grows naturally. So if you love what you're doing and you're not just trying to do it for money, which is definitely something we talked about, if you go into anything and you're like, how can I make money fast? Like it's just not going to happen. If you go into something and you truly know, I have something that I want to show to the world. I have something that I think people will resonate with. I have something that is that I'm passionate about. There has to be somebody else out there that's also passionate about that. Those people will find you. And whether it is through social media or through just like, word of mouth or things like that, like the word will get out if you really have great intentions and if what you're making is needed, and that's what I credit the success and like just the reach of this business to, for sure.
Payment processing can be a real challenge for any business owner. Hidden fees drain your profits, high rates cut into every transaction, and customer service that disappears when you need it most. It's a real problem. That's why I'm excited to announce our partners, Zad, a credit card processing and POS solution designed to simplify your business operation. But here are 3 reasons why Zad stands out. Pricing, no hidden fees ever, with competitive rates that outperform major providers. Customizable POS systems. Choose from a variety of terminals to match your business needs. No one-size-fits-all approach. Number 3, and most important, reliable support. 24/7 customer service in Arabic, English, Spanish, and Portuguese, ensuring you're always supported. And the best for last, we are so confident that you will love their service that there are no commitment plans and you can cancel anytime. Yes, I will repeat that. There are no contracts. You can cancel anytime. That's how confident we are. Visit zad.com, ZAAD.com, or use the link in the description below and use the code word PURPOSE for a special offer. Thank you again to Zad for partnering and sponsoring this video.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, for example, the need I see is like there's a lot of Greek supermarkets, right?
Yes.
Or Greek, like, I love going in there, just like, I love that only in Greek supermarkets you can have like an olive buffet bar.
Oh yeah.
It's just olives.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, olives.
What else do you need? That's it.
Like a corner where there's only feta cheese. What's the right way to? I know it's
Feta.
it's feta.
Yeah.
Feta cheese. Feta cheese. I'm Greek now too.
Great.
But you go in there, you can taste Greece, but
Yeah.
the need of like fashion. And was that, did I come from your own need? So I guess let me reverse this question.
Sure.
If someone who's interested in starting the business, right? Okay, they're listening to everything you have to say. So it sounds like, okay, before you find your audience or you find your people, what is the need you're trying to fulfill to sell it to that audience, right? Or to give. So how, if someone's like, okay, I want to start a business, but I don't know which need to fill. But it sounds like to me, it was just maybe a personal need where you're like, I love Greek fashion.
Totally.
I couldn't find it. So it was like, I'm going to solve this problem for myself. And then, wait, I think other people might also have this problem.
Absolutely. So in the most purest way, I guess, like in the most, I don't know, the biggest issue for me was like, you can't always go to Greece, right? And you can't always find these brands. And like, sure, you might go to one island one year, but you might go to a different island the next year. And so you might find a little item here and like buy it. You come home, you're wearing it. Your friend's like, oh my God, where'd you get that? You can't necessarily send them to like Antiparos, you know what I mean? To go pick it up. So
It's gonna be right on that.
exactly. It's a little teeny island off of Paros, which I feel like people know of that island.
Yeah, I know Athens.
Yeah, great.
I know Mykonos.
It's near there, sort of.
Right.
Yes. So
Sparta from the movie.
in Sparta on the mainland. But so in that way, I was like filling the need of what I thought my customers would need, which was just like a place to go and find these brands. My personal need was, so I graduated college in 2013. I'm dating myself. And
Which schools are you in?
I went to LSU.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I studied art history, which is kind of random, but I always loved the humanities and I always loved culture and people and like the way that art and history intercept and that effect on culture and the way that we see the past. And so I graduated, I moved home to Tampa Bay, Florida, and I started doing internships really with different art institutions in the area. And you think being surrounded by art and artists occasionally that you would be inspired by your surroundings and the people and that you would sort of get that creative itch scratched. And I didn't really experience that in my time in that industry. And so I was just kind of bored and traveling to Greece and not really feeling fulfilled from like a creative standpoint personally. And that's when I really started seeing the brands and really started saying like, somebody should do something about this. And then it turned into, why shouldn't I be that somebody? To go back even further in my entrepreneurial days, I had an Etsy shop when I was in college. And now it's like kind of cringe, but I was making things for people that were in sororities. I was in a sorority at LSU and I was selling them online. And I was actually like doing pretty decent, I guess. I mean, not
All from the dorm room, like
from my college like apartment essentially. I'm sure I drove a grubby's crazy. Yes, and so I was making these like really now kind of crazy looking wreaths like for your door. And I had an Etsy shop, and so I was always just very entrepreneurial. My dad was an entrepreneur, my grandfather was an entrepreneur.
That's where a lot of the
Yeah,
seeds of like I want to be in business. It's really just seeing someone before you or someone close that's done it before.
totally. And so I was like, can I bring together my love of Greece and my just like I don't know, the nostalgia and the just like I just look at Greece with like rose-colored glasses because I've never lived there. I've never spent more than a month there. So I don't know what it's like to actually live there. I know it's not as perfect as it looks in the photographs, but I wanted to share like all the things that I loved about Greece online using the tools that we had at the time, which was at websites like Shopify and Squarespace. Before that, you would have to spend God knows how much money to get someone to build you a website from scratch.
I remember this.
Suddenly, you could just build your own website. And I had like some skills. I mean, if you're, I think we're both millennials. If you were on MySpace like I was, we were like learning how to code on MySpace when we were like,
People so hard with MySpace, like changing the HTML code for the songs.
the songs,
You were that
everything.
person.
I was that girl. Look, could I code now? No. Like I definitely messed up our website a couple times myself. I'm not gonna lie, but I was sort of like, there's all these cool tools. I can use social media. I can use Instagram. I can use my travels. People are always asking me anyway, like, I want to go to Mykonos. Where should I go? I want to go to Rhodes, which is the island that my grandmother's from. Where should I go? And so I was like, if I start a blog with all my travel tips, I might as well also put like some of my favorite brands, some of my favorite whatever, and just sort of make it all encompassing like Greek culture, but also like sell a product that I'm extremely passionate about and extremely like and believe in so much. And then as time went on, I started designing my own fine jewelry because we sell tons of jewelry brands in here, and I love each and every one of them. But I was also like, once the business became so big, it felt like I was only doing the business side of my business. It wasn't quite feeling as creative as it once was.
Which is always a interesting balance of like
Yes.
you get into it to be creative and you're like, oh, I can make money from this.
Yeah.
And then you start making money from it and you're like, okay, to make more money, I have to do this.
Yeah.
But then you're no longer creative.
Right. So it's just like the day to day like takes over. And that point I was still like fulfilling all the orders myself. And so you're just sort of like in it, in the weeds every single day. And like I sort of lost that like creative spark with it. Of course, I was excited to be doing it still, but it just wasn't getting that creative outlet kind of going still. Exactly. So that's when I started meeting with different manufacturers in Greece and starting to actually design my own pieces, which is really a great creative outlet for me and something that I'm really passionate about. And that's been like a fun, like sort of like side, I wouldn't call it a side project, but it's like a side effect of starting this business. Because if I hadn't, created such a wonderful audience with all these other brands, then I wouldn't have a platform now to sell my own brand too. And so it just sort of, and I wouldn't have the network in Greece of manufacturers and workshops and people there that like I know and trust to help me produce these items and to make them so wonderful. And
So you don't just import like existing clothes that's already in Greece. You make custom pieces here.
so most of the things that you see in the store are designed and made by existing Greek brands and who I have relationships with. And a lot of times I get to go there and actually visit their workshops and their showrooms and things like that. Occasionally they come here, which is wonderful. And so the vast majority of things are going to be designed and made in Greece by Greek brands. There's a little bit of Greek American influence as well. We have some Greek American artists that we sell their art. We have some other Greek American entrepreneurs that they sell their products. And so there is also the Greek American aspect of things, but the vast majority still remains, and I would like for it to remain Greek from Greece brands making their items there.
But you're an official partner. You're not just going to a random store in Greece buying a whole bunch of pieces and then like
No, and that wouldn't make sense like price point wise, because all those boutiques are working directly with the designer. And so I would essentially be buying whatever things that
you just try to sell like triple
and like the things in here are they're not cheap and they shouldn't be because they're handmade and they're handmade
Oh, that's
ethically.
cool. I didn't know that.
Yes, you know what I mean? So they're handmade ethically, majority of the things, let's say, in Greece. And so it's like
It's gonna be expensive.
the quality is there. And you had asked me before, like, were you crazy enough to open a brick and mortar when you've been online and doing online,
Yeah.
so well? It's because there's just only so much you can relay to the customer through a website. And so now that people can just walk in here and they can touch the fabric of the clothes and they can see the quality of the jewelry, they can feel the leather on the bags. It's like a total, it just like
It's
helps.
a real connection.
It really connects into it and they're like, wow, I'm so happy that I actually got to like see this, because it just really helps to connect them with the product and just remind them like you're not going to get it in the mail, and it's not going to be like one of those horror stories where something when you see it online versus when you get it in the mail. That's not going to happen when you order from my store, because it sometimes online people might not read the dimensions on something. Sure, it's often
Or whatever.
exactly. Maybe that'll happen. It happens occasionally, but we really try to make sure we give as much information as possible when you can physically come in and see it. Like it just really transforms your knowing of what the product is.
Yeah, I think you've done something super special here. You were born here in the States?
So I was born in the States. Yes. Yeah.
And I know you mentioned to me you grew up in between New York and Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was younger, my dad is a born and raised New Yorker. My grandmother's a born and raised New Yorker. My great grandmother was a born and raised New Yorker. So yeah, my family's been in New York on that side at least for quite some time.
From some time.
Yeah.
But you essentially grew up like American and Greek.
Yes. Yeah. And that has an influence of its own.
Yeah.
And if you ask, I think a lot of people who are Greek from Greece, they don't necessarily understand why Greek Americans are like so excited about being Greek and like so passionate about being Greek. And like, we wear nameplate necklaces that have our name in Greek on them, which is a best-selling item that we carry here and that I design here. But they're like, oh, okay. But like for us, we live in a country where everyone is different. And that's something that's so beautiful about America. Greece is a monoculture. So the majority of people that live in Greece are ethnically Greek. They're all, the vast majority, the same religion, the same background. They maybe never even left, some of them. And so they don't really know that it's so special to be able to like tell somebody when you introduce yourself to them, like, oh,
But then it's just another Tuesday.
exactly.
Like,
Because
you're
you're everywhere.
I gotta tell everyone about this.
Exactly. So when you grow up in America with the name like Marianthi or Marianthi, Marianthi,
Is that how they say it? Like, Marianthi, are you here, present?
exactly. They're like first day of school was always fun. So when you grow up with a name like that, immediately people are like, "Oh, where's that from? Like, where's your family from?" And so it automatically for me has always been one of the first things people know about me is that I'm Greek American. So yes, born here. I have Greek citizenship, which I'm super grateful for, which is really great. And I've been very lucky to be able to go back most summers of my life and spend time there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, the
It's a
influence,
part of your identity.
100% it is.
Yeah.
And I just want to share like what I think is special about Greece to people and like my perspective on that. And I know that, like I said before, Greece is not a perfect place, but like to me, it just is full of so much nostalgia and so much joy and just the relaxation and the pride that I have for my family and my ancestry that dates back there. It's just really cool to be able to share that not only with other Greek Americans, but now our following is so far beyond just the Greek American or Greek Canadian, Greek Australian community. It's so far beyond that.
Where's the biggest hotspots for Greek people outside Greece?
Here, definitely New York.
Yeah.
There's definitely I think Melbourne, Australia, and then there's definitely a lot of Greeks in Canada. And then I don't know, but I know
Like
like maybe like Montreal, I think. And then maybe some in Toronto. And then I know different parts of Europe definitely attract Greeks. Obviously, that's another conversation to have about the brain drain and how a lot of Greeks have gone to move to different parts of Europe. So there are Greeks everywhere. You can be on vacation in Amsterdam and hear Greeks speaking, whether they live there or they're on vacation too. Like Greeks are all over the place. So that's really cool. So yeah, we're everywhere.
No, I know what you're saying about having that like outside perspective, but having pride. I'm American Brazilian, so I was born here in Queens too, but both of my parents are from Brazil.
Yeah.
And I always had that outside perspective of Brazil, and I share the same thing where it's like to me Brazil is just this magical place.
Mm-hmm.
I only see the positives.
Yeah.
I obviously am aware of the actual negatives, but
Sure.
I've never experienced. I never lived in Brazil either, but it was a very core part of my identity. And I think that's a very unique, like, immigrant kid American experience where you're the American cousin of the family. And like, for me, I look like a stereotypical Brazilian. I have that, like, the Brazilian starter pack, like brown skin, like I look Brazilian, right?
Yeah.
I can be anything brown. I'm very
Androgynous.
yeah, I can. Like when I go to the delis here and they're from Yemen,
Sure.
I'm Yemen. Like it's funny. Like they see my friend and he's a white friend. Oh, how you doing, sir? They're scared. You think he's like a cop or something. But they see me and they're like, brother, my brother. They walk me in. They give me free food.
That's amazing.
Once I was walking on 36th Ave and I went to Sammy's.
Oh, my mom's Sam.
He's great.
Yeah,
He's great.
yeah.
He gave me like tea. He gave me like a pistachio yogurt dessert. I don't even know to this day. I don't know what I had, but he welcomed me in. He's like, brother, come in. So there's a lot of advantages to being brown. I could be anything brown,
That's amazing.
but to my family, I'm like the only one who was not born in Brazil.
Right.
Both sides of the family, and so here it's funny. In America, I'm Brazilian.
Right.
But when I'm in Brazil, I'm the American cousin. So it's like I'm never allowed to be the country that I'm in. I'm always the outside. So that outside perspective is like super unique because it was always a core part of my identity. It was like, I'm Brazilian. I was like, even though I never been there, like growing up, the first time I went to Brazil was when I was 21.
Wow.
Both of my parents were undocumented. Because I was born here, I passed the papers on to them. You can't catch them, ICE. They got papers now. They're citizens now. Too late. You missed your chance. But now they're thankfully they're going to Brazil every year since they got the papers, which is great to see family and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But up until 21, it was just like being Brazilian was like a part of my identity, and I had this like super love because every Brazilian I knew here, they're just like we're happy people. Everyone likes the same things. Like we just love soccer. We just love barbecue. We love family. And it was like everyone here loves the same thing that I love. It's so unique. And I remember when I went to São Paulo for the first time, my dad's from São Paulo, my mom's from Rio. And so when I landed in São Paulo for the first time, I was 21. It hit me for the first time, like, wow, everyone in this place is Brazilian.
Yes, I had that too. I've had that too.
It was such like a unique experience with like in New York City, every block has its own country, culture.
Especially here in Astoria.
That's already in Astoria.
Yeah.
But then I was like, wow, everyone here is Brazilian. I was like, this is so great.
Totally.
It's so great.
No, it's like a culture shock for us. 100%. Like going to school, you're used to having. I had friends from all different backgrounds, right? All different religions, all different ethnicities, all different races, and then you go to a place where it's just like everyone is the same, and you're like, oh, that is cool too because it's different, and like it's beautiful in its own way. I've had to experience the same thing where I kind of learned the hard way. You go to Greece and you're like, I'm Greek. And they're like, no, you're not. They're like, who are you?
I'm called gringo. Like, I'm the American kid. There's no way I'm Brazilian.
Totally. So you're not Greek enough for the Greeks, but you're not American enough for the Americans.
Yes. It's a very unique experience.
I experienced that probably the most when I went to college in Louisiana because all my friends were Catholic. They were all, had like very easy to pronounce like American names. And I was like this little brunette that was like had the like unique name, and they're like, "Oh, it's our little Greek friend." And like I was there were very few Greeks at LSU. There was like a big Greek church in New Orleans, but there was like a teeny one in Baton Rouge where LSU was, and so there really wasn't a community surrounding the Greek community. There was no Greek community in Baton Rouge, at least at that time. And if you were to go to the Greek restaurants in Baton Rouge, they were not run by Greek people. So everyone in Baton Rouge was like, "Oh, they're like, you're Greek. I love hummus," and I'm like, "That's great. I just want you to know, hummus isn't Greek, but I love hummus too. Like, but you don't want to be rude." So once I left LSU, I really felt even more like I was ready to reconnect with my Greek roots because that was something that I was so missing out on for the 4 years that I was in college. And so this business sort of also brought that for me, like eventually. And I have such an amazing network of people who are both collaborators and friends, but mostly just friends that we just hang out and maybe something organically happens like business wise. But a lot of times it's just, we're good friends. We travel every summer to Greece together. When people are in New York, we all hang out. When, I'm going to 3 weddings in Greece this summer. I wouldn't know any of those people if I hadn't come to New York and opened this business and, sort of
laid over here through the business.
I did. The one friend, I met him prior to that, but it was through the business. I had done a pop-up up here and he came to that. But it was really just from like building a life here and like using the Greek community as like a springboard essentially to just be social and meet people and just spread the word about like what I'm doing and about what others are doing too. So, yeah.
I mean, since it's literally called the Purpose Podcast, I'm trying to navigate. I'm someone who believes that each person has gold, each person has worth. And, it's our lifetime experiences that we'll figure it out eventually. And what I'm seeing through you is it's really like your love of your culture, your identity, but it's also your love of like serving people, having community.
Yeah,
And it really is like this place is really just a combination of all those things.
totally.
Like I'm gonna sell Greek things because I love Greece and it's my identity. But at the same time, you being around it, it almost sounds like this store like supports who you are.
It does.
It
Does.
reinforces like this is who I am
Totally. And I think
in a physical store.
totally.
Crazy.
The reason, another, to go back to why you asked about why I like opened a physical store, I just sort of wanted to prove to myself that I could do it too. It kind of comes down to that as well, because there's just always like a pipe dream, and then it just sort of like happened one day. But it
Did
did.
you always plan to have a store, or just like I'll keep it as a plan?
It was always a
And here's what it's
dream. It was always a dream, and it didn't seem attainable until like probably around COVID, because COVID was actually, really enough, a very busy time for us. People were canceling their honeymoons, they were canceling their trips, they were canceling postponing their weddings in Greece, their vacations, whatever. And so they're feeling bad for themselves. Everyone's home bored, and so they decided to try to find a place to shop online to like, I guess, eat
Escape.
that pain and escape, and that turned into
People have money. People,
They-
they're home having money.
totally. And they were just like, I want a new necklace, and so they came to me. But that was just sort of like, because the community really rallied around us at that time. I was like, maybe it is time. I did believe that after COVID, like people would want to come back to like physical spaces, and that community would come back,
Yeah.
and that people wouldn't just be hanging out on Clubhouse, that they would also want to have like a space for their community to come together. And in the Greek community specifically, we spend a lot of our community times. We have a lot of like clubhouses around here in Astoria.
Can you explain to me the lore, the fantasy that is the clubhouses? I see all over, and I don't know what it is.
I honestly don't know, because I don't go in them very frequently, because there is this sort of like secretive
I want to join.
aspect
I
of
don't know how.
Yeah, so most of them, this is my understanding of it, they belong to like people of an association that's part of like a specific island. So if you're from the island of Crete, you're like a member of like an association. They sort of have like a place that they do their community events, they do their meetings, they do like Greek diddle and just for me. I have no idea that. I don't know the back end of the bug, any of that. No, but those spaces tend to be have like an older demographic.
Yeah.
It's definitely the old guard. And if it's not at a space like that, then it's going to be somewhere like at a church. And although we love our churches, that's also can be kind of it can be sort of like a conflict of interest sometimes to like host certain types of events in like a church.
Like a business conference thing.
Yeah, which we do. I mean, our churches are wonderful, and they're always very generous with their spaces. I've always had great experiences with that. But I also thought like a store is just like a kind of like a neutral space where like we can have like a wine tasting, we can have a book signing, we can have an art event, we can do different types of things, pop-ups with brands, we can do networking events, and it's just like, it's fun. You can sip some wine, like whatever, it's just like kind of like a free space, like everyone feels comfortable in. And so I wanted to just create like a different type of space, and one that celebrated a different aspect of our culture, which is, like I said before, design and creativity. And that's just sort of like how this blossomed, and how I've been able to sort of find meaning and deeper meaning in what I'm doing, because that really just kind of brings it all full circle.
Yeah.
When you're online only, yes, we get wonderful emails from people that say, I got my item, it's beautiful, or I gifted it to my cousin who just had a baby and she loved, these stories. I could, oh my God, like inject it into my veins. I can hear them, I can read them all day. But to be able to physically meet these people now, because they can physically walk into my door, that is what's so meaningful, because someone will walk in and be like, my mom bought me this bracelet when I graduated from high school. And then my friend got me this one for this birthday. And like the things that we sell have so much meaning to people. And the fact that they can come in and like they walk into the store and they're like, we've had people from Australia, we've had people from Brazil. We had a couple come in, she's Brazilian and he's Greek, and they live in Brazil, and she's just a huge fan and wanted to come here while they were in New York for a family event. So we've had people from did I say Australia? We've had people from parts of Europe, Canada, all over the place, obviously all over the US, and that's super rewarding and cool. So that connection and just be able to actually see these people's faces light up, it's like really, really makes it all just like,
That's the purpose. That seems like that's the fuel that drives you. It's seeing that like what I'm doing is giving purpose to other people. Like you're providing value, not just with the product, the high quality fashion and all of these things, but it's really this like you're serving them emotionally in a very positive manner
Yeah.
that brings a satisfaction.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, if I could do this and pay my rent,
Sure.
I think I could do this. But
I think I'm good.
yeah,
Exactly. And on the other side of that spectrum, which is the people that I buy from, right? These are the workshops, these are the designers, these are the brands. Very specifically.
I've actually struggled with purpose my entire life. My entire life, I always just wanted to know, what was I born to do? What was I called to do? That's actually what inspired to me to create this podcast, the Purpose Podcast. It's a journey to find purpose through meaningful work, entrepreneurship, and just everyday life. I truly believe that the process will reveal the purpose, but I also think the quickest way to finding your purpose is actually serving a community of people. Now, that community could be anything. It could be online, in person, charity work, whatever the case may be. But I found from my experience, people will usually tell you what you're good at and probably what you're bad at. Generally speaking, when you're surrounded by a community of people, they can say, hey, I just really see you're talented in this. I see you're really good with this thing or whatever. Either way, my point is that the community can form you, can push you into the right direction. That's why I'm excited to share here that I've actually created my own community for this exact purpose. It's called the Purpose Podcast Community. Super clever name. It's hosted on School, but it's actually a free community to join where I want every single person who desires to learn their purpose to join this community. It's 100% free for now to join this community where you can be surrounded by like-minded people who love business, who are also in search of their purpose, where you can be in a community to do that exact thing that I had just mentioned before, to form and push you into the right direction. Say, hey man, I see you're really talented with arts. I see you're really good with numbers or whatever the case may be. You can surround yourself with the right people to push you in the right direction. Feel free to join my community. The link is in the description below, and I hope to see you there.
Right before the COVID lockdown, I went to Greece. It was like February of 2020.
did you get stuck there?
No, I didn't. Almost.
I wish I did.
I know. Now that we know, yes. So I went and I was meeting with jewelry manufacturers. So these are fine jewelry manufacturers that only do business B2B, right? So business to business. They manufacture and they sell wholesale to what's mostly brick and mortar mom and pop jewelry stores throughout Greece. So you walk into a jewelry store in Athens, they do business with them. In Santorini, whatever. And that's sort of how the jewelry industry works in Greece. There's the manufacturers, and then there's the brick and mortars, and then some jewelers actually make their own stuff in-house.
But the majority, it's like they're buying wholesale from someone who makes it.
Exactly.
Okay, the next I would never know. I just would assume, oh, this old couple makes 10,000 pieces on that.
Some of them do, but a lot of them don't. So what happens? Greece in 2019 had this crazy, crazy tourism boom, right? And everyone was projecting that 2020 was going to be record numbers of tourists to visit Greece. So we all go, everyone starts doing their buying in January, February, March for the upcoming tourism season. And so I was there in February, and everyone I met with, these were my first time meeting with these B2B business jewelry manufacturers. And they were like, who is this Greek American girl? A lot of questions are like, first I get where's your father? Is this his business? Which is very, very infuriating. And then
Is that still common?
1,000%, especially in the jewelry manufacturing. And can I also say that in Greece, it's very common. It's mostly common for you to take over your family's business.
Yeah.
So they don't necessarily have the opportunities like we do to start something from scratch just because you feel like.
Oh, so a lot of the relationship, it's like, I know you are. You're gonna have okay.
Hey, that's like that. It's like that in Astoria too. Very frequently, I'll meet someone that knows my grandfather or whatnot, or my father, but they were just sort of like, "Who are you? Where did you come from? Like, what is this? You're in Florida. You're in New York. You're in Greece. Like, what's happening?" So I made these relationships with them. I placed some orders, and I received my jewelry. Well, we all know that the lockdown happened. So all of the brick and mortar retailers start halting all their orders. So we aren't going to take in all this inventory because they're closing the country. No tourists are allowed here. You had to have a Greek passport to go, and it was total mess. So they're like, we don't need anything. So all of a sudden, cancel, cancel, cancel. And all these manufacturers are just like, what are we going to do? Well, it was that time because, again, like I said, those retailers, the brick and mortar, they don't really have an e-commerce none of them had an e-commerce site. They didn't need it, you know? Well, who had an existing e-commerce store? Me. And I had the infrastructure and the audience to sell their products, you know, many, many, many times over. And so it went from being like, oh, like, who's this little Greek American? Yeah, we'll give her a shot. Like, sure, whatever. To fast forward.
Give this American lady anything she
Exactly. So then I didn't go back to Greece after that until it was September of 2021. And I went back and I met with those same manufacturers post-COVID. And they all sat me down individually and they just said, Marianthi, they were like, thank you so much because your business continued and you were able to continue to, you know, place orders and sell products. Whereas most of the people that we do business with were shuttered for like over a year.
really prepared in like the online space.
Yes,
Everyone during COVID, they in 24 hours are like, oh, now I have to be online.
exactly. So
You're already ready. You weren't ready.
we were there. We were ready. We were also in Condé Nast Traveler magazine at the time. They were featuring, because obviously they can't tell people to travel in 2020. So they were recommending different e-commerce platforms that were transportive and like sold products from different parts of the world. So they actually featured me in the store, well, the online store at the time. And
Was it called the same thing? It was always
Hellenic Aesthetic, HellenicAesthetic.com. So it was just cool to like that they took me seriously. And that was really amazing because my relationship with them was sort of like, they were like, well, we'll give you a shot. They were telling me, any feedback you have for us, we really respect your opinion. We really respect your business. Like, thank you so much. And so it was this total 180. And that really solidified like my legitimacy with the manufacturers and also like with my customer base. Cause like I was there to fill a need again that I never would have thought when I started in 2017 that the world would have shut down and that people wouldn't have physically been able to even enter the country, to be able to go to Greece. Like that, in my wildest dreams, no one could have imagined something like that. So it's from both ends of like my customers really appreciating it and also the people that do the actual, you know, craftsmanship and the manufacturing and the producing of these items. They also appreciate it. And so sometimes I'm just like in the middle, just like trying to cheer everybody on, you know, like I just feel like a cheerleader more than anything at the end of the day. And when I know brands that are coming to pop-ups that aren't in my store, that are, you know, brands that I love, people that I know that I want to support, I'm the first one there. So excited for them, always cheering them on. I do collaborations with
because you know how it felt being on the other side of things.
that. And I'm just like, let's get Greek product out there. Like, let's do it. Like, these brands are so cool. They're doing such amazing things. And I don't have, unfortunately, the bandwidth or the budget to support every single one. And I wish I did. And maybe one day I can. But, you know, there's only so much that I can do. I'm not just one person here. But at the end of the day, we are still a small business. You
My
know?
ops, you're really one owner operator, but you're doing 15 jobs.
I'm still doing so much. I've gotten better at delegating, but it's still so hard for me. You know, it's still so hard for me. It's been almost 8 years and it's still a growing pain of mine.
Yeah, I think for me personally, it's like, I spoke to my buddy Frank. He used to have a salon here on 30th Avenue.
Awesome.
Redkin Saloon. I'm not sure if you know that, but Frank, he's been in the game. He's been in your store for forever. And one thing he told me was, which is on one of my previous episodes as well, but I want to highlight here because I think it's important. It's like when you would hire someone, especially in the hair business, it's like the likeliness that person's gonna leave is kind of high. Either they're a barber or, you know, colorist or whatever.
Big turnover.
The turnover is really, really high. So I'm like, how do you trust someone with your business, with your baby, knowing that they're probably gonna leave? And he gave me examples after examples. It's like, listen, he's trained up people who left, opened up their own salon like across the street and showed like 5 of his best people.
Yeah.
That's like super common. So I'm like,
Sure.
That's exactly my fear.
Sure.
Training someone, getting an apprentice, showing it. And one thing he's like, there's always going to be that risk. But while you're training them to be like your number 2,
Yeah.
you have your number 2 train their own number 2.
Right.
So there's always a backup to the backup.
Right.
But second of all, and the most important, where I want to land the plane here is, while that phase where you're sharing the efforts, you're kind of sharing the responsibility, all that stuff, you're also multiplying the profits and the revenue of your place.
Right.
And so, although it seems like you might lose at some point,
Sure.
the what you multiplied during that season
Right.
will outpace the loss for that's 10.
Right. Because that person, again, is pretty much starting at zero, even though they have poached some of your.
They think they know what they're doing.
Sure.
You don't know if it's gonna work out.
No. And I've had a lot of, I don't even know if I want to bring this up.
Bring it up. Bring it up.
I've had a lot of issues with copycats.
Let's talk about it.
I've never talked about it publicly, but
Exclusive.
this is an exclusive. No, I've had former customers of mine copycat, and it's not so much like at the end of the day, my goal is to just get as much Greek product into the U.S. market and around the globe. We ship around the globe as possible. So if my designers want to sell to other people in the U.S., of course, like I want that, like absolutely, like let's go. But when they're not only selling the same brands, the exact same pieces, using the exact same copy as me, marketing it in the exact same way. One of the major ways that I used to like sort of market my business at the beginning was doing pop-ups all around the country. Doing pop-ups with
The footwork. You
I did the
the winter trenches. You got the job done.
I did. And so suddenly I had these little feet falling behind me and I'm like, what's going on here, girls? And then it turned into also them copying like literally like the branding for my coffee brand. Like they copied that and they like regurgitated into something else. And I was like, that's weird. People have copied the fine jewelry that I sell, that I design. The ring that I'm wearing, somebody bought it and had it recast and was selling it because I have the receipts. Like she bought it from my website, spent like hundreds of dollars on it, and then had it recast and reproduced.
Like sold on like an Etsy store or the own.
Their own website. I had somebody completely copy and paste my bio and just like insert their name. I had somebody, I mean, like when I tell you our website, our jewelry packaging, like truly these are multiple things and multiple people that did this, that have done this. And it's just kind of weird when it's like another business. And let me also preface by saying, or let me just back up by saying, nothing makes me happier than to see people that want to emulate what I do and my style and things like that when they want to integrate it into their own personal life, right? Nothing makes me happier than when somebody comes in the door, has a photo of my wrist, and they're like, I want every bracelet that you have. Like, I'm so inspired by like what you've done and like your style and whatever. That is wonderful to me. When you try to profit off of the way that I dress, the way that I speak, the way that I talk to my customers, every little thing, that's when I have the issue with it. Cause like you're trying to monetize who I am.
Yeah, they're trying to piggyback off the work that the field that you've already sewn into, and they're trying to like, oh, this works. I'm just gonna copy what works.
That's when it gets weird. And there's so much more that I can say about it. And I don't want to harp on it because like you said, like your friend said, I was first to market. I'm like leaps and bounds further ahead than these people. I also have a physical store and anybody can start an e-commerce shop. If you have an iPhone and like 3 things to sell, you can start
the same thing Frank said. He's like,
Yeah.
with your phone, you can start a business.
You can start a business. That's all you need. But to have a profitable e-commerce store and then to open a brick and mortar retailer, especially in a place like New York City, this is not the easiest place to have.
This is the hardest.
It is absolutely the hardest place to have a business. So it was sort of like a way, there were so many just like voices out there that were just like I tried not to like let it get me down, like not to let it bother me. Although sometimes it's like very irritating, especially when people send it to me because it's that obvious. But I'm like, I'm going to just continue to grow and like void out
You'll outpace them. You'll outpace
Exactly.
because you're already ahead.
Exactly.
So if you stay in your lane, you do your own race.
Yeah. I'm not looking in the rearview mirror. I'm looking ahead. If I spend my time looking in the rearview mirror because they're obsessed with my old ideas, which is crazy, that I'm not gonna move forward, you know? And so I'm just ready to, and I continue to just look forward and to dig deep into like who I am and to be creative. And I don't think that there shouldn't be other people selling Greek designers online in physical stores, anything like that. Of course, there should be more. And I also welcome people that think it's easy. I'm like, please try.
Yeah.
Please try. Whether it's online or in
And the second someone's like, oh, it's super easy, I'm just going to start. That's when I know that person has never been in business. That has never done business. It's never sold. Totally on.
Exactly. They have no idea. It's so hard. And so I'm like, please, people, you know, if you own a brick and mortar retailer and you love one of our brands, like totally pick up some of them. Like, I think it's great. And I think that the more that these products are out there, the more people are going to be familiar with the brands in the US, because most of these brands aren't known here.
Yeah.
Then the more they're going to be looking for other retailers that have them and things like that. And again,
They'll all be introduced to the world.
Exactly.
I want to know.
All boats rise with the tide.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. But when it becomes like kind of like it gets a little creepy sometimes. That's all I'm trying to say. And I've become like kind of skeezed out, like kind of weirded out a little bit. That's all I'm gonna say. Like that's all.
The copycat stores, yeah.
It just gets kind of weird at some point. Like it's gotten a little weird. So
I wanna ask. I wanna maybe come to the end here, but
sure.
as a single, would you consider yourself a boss babe?
Oh my god, everybody! If you didn't know, I thank you for blowing on my spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow you up.
Okay, this is something that I struggle with.
Let me ask my question, because then I think I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah,
Does being a boss babe,
yeah.
single woman who is clearly successful, runs your own thing, knows what you're doing,
Right.
do you find that it's difficult to date, get out there? Do you feel like men are intimidated? I think this is
Yeah.
obviously people love the drama when it comes to this question,
Sure.
but to give encouragement to other women who I think women are more naturally prone to business entrepreneurship. It's like, I'm going to start something out of nothing. I think women are way more talented in juggling a million things.
Yes.
That's way more like a women brain,
I agree.
natural lane to be in.
Yeah.
And so being a business owner comes natural to a lot of women because you're doing a million things all at the same time.
Totally.
And so, but a lot of them have reservations. And I hear this from my own wife, who starting her own business as well. She's partners with my father-in-law in their own like Brazilian cabinet business. And
Oh,
so
cool.
I hear this at home. This is why I'm saying from experience.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of the fears or a lot of the questions are like dating someone while running a
Sure.
business,
Sure.
starting a family, being married or running a business. How do you navigate that personal side of things?
So there's two aspects to this, because there is the being ethnically Greek and being in the Greek community and meeting other Greeks, and like people just assuming that you are at events just to date, or that you're at events just to network, or maybe it's a combination of both. Or if you go on maybe one date with somebody, doesn't work out, like suddenly like everyone's like, you know what I mean? There's like that aspect of the Greek community, which is like, we kind of need to stop doing that, because
That's hard to stop because that's
it's hard. I don't think that that's an exclusive thing to like our community. I think that that's something that's a broader issue with maybe other ethnic communities. So that's one side of it, where it's like I'm very private. Like it doesn't seem like it, because all over my businesses, Instagram, social media, and things like that. But my personal life is extremely private to me.
until 2 minutes ago. I'd
2
be
minutes ago.
Got it.
But there is the aspect of, did I girl boss too close to the sun?
Girl boss. I say boss babe.
Whatever.
Girl boss and hate so
Same. No,
I'm sorry.
It's no. You're fine. You're fine. Did I girl boss too close to the sun? Has my business become my life? And I have become really, really a stickler to removing myself from. Look, I can spend all day, every day in the store. There's always something to be done, right? But I forced myself to go be social with my friends. I forced myself to join different organizations and do different philanthropy projects and things like that. To spend time with my family, to travel, to go to Greece for a month plus, this summer, which I'm about to go do again. So I am making room in my life for that, And I think it's very easy as an entrepreneur to focus just on your business and to sort of use it as like a shield.
This is who I am.
This is who I am. And I always thought that it would like make me, this is so weird. So I always thought that it would like help me date. Cause like, and actually, weird way it hasn't, but I have guys come in here because they know I'm in here, and they'll like come in here, like bring me coffee as an excuse or like whatever. So they're like, hey, like or if I have one of my sales associates here, they're like, hey, is the owner here? And they know better than to like, depending on who it is, to like let them know if I'm here or not. Cause sometimes I'm like in my office. And they're like, oh, like, what's, and they're like, oh, I just really want to meet her. Like, I saw her on Instagram. Like, oh my God, it's so embarrassing. So in some ways, it's made it,
That's hilarious.
people can like,
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
I think they're shooting their shot. I respect it.
Yeah.
So in some ways, I thought that it would help, but I do get that like maybe someone would look at my life and say, wow, she's too busy, or wow, she's so intimidating, or wow, she's done all these things, and maybe be insecure and like come from that place. I also fully believe that the right man for me will not be intimidated, will be inspired and be like, let's build like together. I'm also very independent, but I do like want that, you know, like I do want someone who's also doing their own thing. I'm doing my own thing, and we can like support each other and like put together.
Feats of mindset of like, let's build. Totally. I'm doing my thing, but we could build together. Yeah, I would totally say.
So it's sort of like a weird. I'm definitely in like a weird spot where it's
You
like,
gotta go to finance, bro. 9 to 5, great health benefits.
yeah, baby. Well, definitely. That's like
You're the free one.
Yeah,
They're locked in the office.
there you go. And we're
You
good.
did the health insurance.
There we go.
Everyone is happy.
Everyone's happy for sure. I don't think another entrepreneur.
Yeah,
I think that might be a little tough unless they're like very seasoned in it. It's not. I don't know. So I'm not gonna.
partner level. You know, they're invested in a bunch of businesses.
Right.
They're just having coffee.
Sure. I mean, come have coffee with me if you're. No, please don't. Oh, like this is not a call to action. But no, I'm definitely someone that. Yeah, like I would love to meet someone who's also like super motivated and like thinks of what I do as like a positive. And I've also gotten much better at delegating. So like one day, like I'm in here grinding now because one day I would like to be married. I would like to have a family, like God willing. So then I've already spent my time like grinding and getting the business to the point where I can be a mom and like do other things and like travel and like be all places all at once and do all the things. I think I'm a very good juggler and multitasker. Another thing from a personal aspect is like my dad travels a lot for work. And so my mom held it down like when my dad was gone. So she was always, you know, had tons of plates spinning. And so I sort of learned from them.
You guys got pacing down.
Totally. I'm like,
Kind of know what's up.
exactly. Like I am just someone who's
Which I think is exactly why you can juggle
do all this.
Yeah.
Exactly. So for me, I'm a person who I'm better when I'm busier. If I have nothing going on, I am like so lazy, like ADD, like, you know, so I'm
You're the person who finds something to do.
I am. I love being busy. I love being around people. And so I definitely think it's like strengthened my ability to like continue to like just do it all and like figure it out and just make me a more well-rounded person at the end of the day.
I can tell you this: the guy you're gonna find is gonna be like a super chill, relaxed. This is gonna be the opposite guy. You know why? Because my wife is just like you.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
She'll find something to do. Yeah.
We should be res.
No, you guys are at the same pace.
Awesome.
But I'm the super chill, like, let's just do it tomorrow. Like, what's the rush? Like, so I think it's a good balance because she motivates me like, let's just do it today, like a responsible person.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm like, let's just do it tomorrow because you're burnt out.
Totally.
So like there's a nice balance. I think that's
Totally.
the
I definitely can burn myself out, but like I said, I'm trying to grind so that maybe one day I like don't have to. I'm starting to open myself up more, like starting to leave for bigger chunks of time, starting to like remove myself from the online / brick and mortar like demand.
And I think I think we can end here, which is that is probably the best benefit of starting your own business.
Yeah.
It's long hours, no money, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But you're sowing into your own field. You're not waiting for someone else. And so at some point, your hard work will pay off.
Yeah.
You just have to persevere.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, you can do those 1 month summers in Greece.
Yeah. Or more. I'm trying to do 3 months.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work up to 3 months.
Yeah, so you definitely need to marry a finance bro. Yeah. With the Paragaya vest.
Like, we'll put that out there. You like psychic or anything? Like, can you like put that on GA?
I'm known to be a good matchmaker. I'm very.
We'll talk about that offline.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
But the idea is you start your own thing.
Yes.
Your business is separate from you, but it could still make money if you're not there.
That's 100%.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
And that's where we're at, and we're continuing to like work towards, because like the physical store is definitely, because it's more new, it's definitely still something that takes a decent amount of my time. Online, I'm like almost entirely hands off. Like obviously I do the buying and things like that, but yeah, I'm not sitting here fulfilling orders all day. So I'm continuing day by day to make sure that I'm freer and freer to like hopefully
like build it up and then
exactly
automate it. Yeah.
Totally. And also the biggest reason why I do grind and why I'm in here and why I'm so passionate about my business and why I spend so much time is like, what am I supposed to be doing in the meantime? Like I haven't met the right person, whether that's because I've been grinding in here or it's because the universe isn't ready for that for me. But it's also like, what was I supposed to be doing?
I think,
you know what I mean?
I'm a firm believer where if you're single, you're educated, you're doing what you got to do, you got to be grinding. You have to be working.
Yeah.
You got to build that thing, because once that next season comes, it comes fast.
Totally.
And then you're going to have to adjust.
Totally.
But then at that point, it's like, then you'll slow down. Then it's kind of your sign to slow down and change things up. And that's fine.
You're so right. I've been trying to like take this all in and enjoy it, because I'm like, it won't
It's not
like
like
this
it's
forever.
It's very different.
You know, and I love my life, and I really do, and I love everything that I get to do, and so I just try to like take pause, and even on days when it's tough, because it is,
Which is a lot.
it is a lot. I just take pause, and I'm like, you're doing everything you wanted to do. Like, look at you, and you're just, you know, enjoy it, because it's not always going to be the way that it is now.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Marianthi? No.
Marianthi.
Marianthi?
You got it. Finally.
Last token. What's
Yeah.
your favorite Greek spot here in Astoria?
Oh God, you're gonna get me canceled. You realize?
Favorite Euro. What's the like?
Okay, well, obviously my across the street, Queens-NYC, like so quick, so delicious. It's there till like 4 a.m., which is like mad information that anyone needs, really. But I always send, if you're in this part of Astoria, so we're right by St. Demetrius, the corner of 31st Street, 31st Avenue. I do love to send everybody to Bahari.
Bahadu.
It's on Broadway.
Uh-huh.
And it's amazing, and they're wonderful in there. It's very like old school vibes. The owner, Kiria Anna, is like the nicest lady ever. She always sings to me, and she just like, she knows me, and like I order, they deliver for free, which in Astoria, which is like awesome.
Just great.
And whenever I'm like feeling like, you know, homesick and want like my mom wants to cook, I order that, or I go there, and it's so good. So definitely, I love Bacardi, but I love all of them. Truly, these are really hardworking people.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. So depending on what part of town, what part of Astoria I'm in, I will go into, I'll go to all of them, truly. But this just happens to be the closest.
The
sit down.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out. I haven't been there.
You have it?
No.
It's special. Tell them I said hi.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is wonderful.
Thanks.